Welcome to my channel. I'm Sonia Copeland. Today's topic is age gap in relationships. But before we get into it, if you're already subscribed, I want to thank you for subscribing. If you are not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and also turn on your notifications so that you don't miss a post whenever I post new content. Now, let's jump into it. Now, age gap in relationships. I'm sure that is something we can all relate to. We all have been in relationships with someone who is way older than us or way younger than us. Like myself, I have been in a relationship probably for 7 to 8 years with someone who was like 11 years older than myself. And then, of course, someone who was, a little older than that. But let me explain to y'all, the relationship I was in when I was in a age gap relationship. Now, when I met him, he was 27 and I was 16. Now, of course, I did not know his age when I met him because, of course, when you meet an older guys and you're a young girl, he's trying to make sure he don't get in any trouble. So, of course, he did not tell me his age. How I ended up finding out how old he was because a friend of mine who was, well, a family friend or a friend or whatever, next door neighbor, he was at my aunt's house and he was like, you know how old that man is? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, how old? I was like, he's 21. But I was just saying that, like I knew he probably was older. And I wasn't sure how old, but I was just, being a young girl trying to keep him from being in my business, you know what I'm saying, as a teenager. And I'm like, yeah, 21. And he like, no, that man, 27 years old. I know him. And I was like, okay. I say, no, he's not. You don't know what you're talking about. He's not 27 years old. So anyway, he was 27 years old. I was 16 years old. And we stayed we was in a relationship until I was probably 17 years old. We broke up. We got back together when I turned 17, later on, some months or whatever, and we stayed together after that. Once we got back together, we stayed together and we moved in together when I turned 18 years old. Now, when we went out on dates, people would look at us strange. People would people would just say rude things and do mean things or whatever. And I remember me and him being on a date, and someone was sitting behind us while we're sitting down having lunch, eating, and someone was like, "How old is she? Is that her daddy?" He's sitting down, is that she? That's her teacher. Like they just was trying to figure out who it is that I'm on a date with that's so much older than myself. Because, of course, I'm sure I looked young. I was very tiny. Little skirts, little clothes. Little dresses or little skirts. I didn't really wear pants, so little skirts and dresses. So I'm sure I looked like a little girl too. So people just used to say mean things and look weird at us, like, as we're walking, people would be turning around like, you know just making it very obvious that they why are they together. But of course, I never cared. None of that never bothered me. I already knew I was in a relationship with an older man. I was very comfortable with myself, with myself being with him. None of that never bothered me. I was very happy. I've always been used to being in a relationship with an older man. I was in a relationship. I tried dating someone that was younger than myself, and that just didn't work out. Like, of course, I know how to love. That was fine, but the 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 difference, the maturity level, I guess, just was off. Like I was with someone who was actually a year, 2 years old younger than myself, and I fell in love. That was like my first boyfriend, basically. First boyfriend. Fell in love with them. I didn't, it wasn't my first love, if you know what I mean. Like he didn't break anything. He didn't do, yeah. So it's just my first boyfriend, and we was 2 years apart. He was 2 years younger than myself. I did not want to stay in that relationship. I always knew to myself, like, I wonder if I'm going to be with him when I get older. I wonder if I see myself marrying him. And I didn't. I did not see myself marrying him. So, of course, I got out of that relationship when my little boyfriend came around, obviously. And so basically that was one relationship, and I was in another relationship with someone who was like probably 3 years younger than myself, and I fell in love with him also. It's just, okay, let me explain the difference, guys. Let me explain something to you. I guess the reason I was more caught or driven to the person that was way older than me, let me be honest, okay? Now, I was in high school. I was in 10th grade. So of course, I was in 10th grade when I met him. And let me tell y'all the juice. So when you're in an older relationship, this is what the older guys do. They, if they want to be with you. This is only if they want to be with you, not, not the ones that's trying to play games with you and they gonna hit it, whatever. So anyway, he brought me a cell phone to keep tabs on me. This guy was giving me like $10. Like, this man work. This man have a job. I don't have a job. I go to school. You know what I mean? I get my allowance was $2 from my mother and father, and that was not even an allowance. That was my bus money to catch the bus to school. But instead of using that money for the bus, I would walk to school, keep my money, and have it for lunch. Have it for lunch, right? But when he started giving me money, he was giving me like $10 a day. He would come and see me, and he would give me $10 a day. A day. You understand that? A young girl, like, she loves shopping, me. She loves buying things, me. A lot of us women, we get, how you not gonna catch her like that? So you got the competition of him giving her money every day, buying her things, and you got the young boy who's her same age bracket, and he's not doing anything for her because he can't, because he's in school too. You know what I mean? So those are the pros and cons. But while I was with him, he would give me money every single day for school. He brought me a cell phone, and I remember my parents asking, "How old is he?" Like, I showed them a little picture. It was a place called the Omni, and everyone used to go to Omni. So we went to the Omni, and we took a picture together in a little keychain thingy. So I had the little keychain with me, and I always tried to hide it whenever I go home so my parents wouldn't see it, because I know this man is older. I never even asked him. Like, after I heard my friend say, that man's 27 years old, I never asked. I never ever asked him. I didn't want to ask him. I didn't want to bring it to light. So I just left it, until he tell me. So anyway, we took the picture, and I used to always hide it when I go home. I try to keep it in my purse or something. So one day I forgot to put it in my purse, and it was on my like keychain thingy or whatever. So my stepdad, my dad was like, who that is? I say, my boyfriend. And he was like, how old is he? And I was like, 21. Why you ask that, Daddy? Why? How he look? And my dad was like, he looked like he older than 21. I was like, give me my keychain. He not older than 21. He only 21 years old. So I hurry up and stuck it in my purse, like, let's end this conversation, before they start saying things like, you can't see him or whatever else. I mean, it probably wasn't going to happen. When you get to a certain point, like, it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? We had already did the do. It's no breaking that up, That wasn't gonna happen. So, of course, we stayed together for like 7 to 8 years, somewhere down the line. I remember, oh my gosh, I remember him. He had a kid. I did not have any kids. We tried to have kids. I had miscarriages with him, and I always thought, like, is it the age thing that? Is that the reason I'm having the miscarriages? I'm not able to carry his babies because he's older or whatever. it was so many discrepancies with us. And you know what? I think that he, till this day, I think that he was immature to my maturity, if you know what I mean. Now, some people feel like, okay, the reason a younger person is with an older person is because of the maturity level. Like, one, the younger person is very mature enough to be with older person, and not to mention some people feel like older person is not mature enough, and that's why they're in the relationship with a younger person, which is not true. Which is not true. Now, of course, like I said, I feel like he did have some immaturity levels, because there's some things that we went through or in our relationship, and me being a younger person with a lot of things that I had in my life going on. I could have been a much better person. I could have been an entrepreneur at the age of 18 years old, but he didn't have the knowledge and, to drive me to do those things. So, of course, it never happened. And I wasn't thinking about those things. All I was thinking about was having a relationship with my man, trying to be home with my man, going to school, coming home from school, cooking dinner, making sure my house clean, hit it with my friends, come back home, and making sure he happy. That was it. That was my life as being in a young relationship, being in a relationship with someone who's older than myself. But my opinion, I don't feel that it is wrong to be with someone who is older than yourself or younger than yourself. Like R. Kelly thing, everybody's talking about the R. Kelly, the fact that he's dating younger girls. But nobody say anything when all these girls walking around here with older dudes all the time. Like when we was in high school, every girl that I knew had an older boyfriend. Everybody had an older boyfriend. We all had older boyfriends. None of us didn't want to be with the boys at school. Like, they were cute. They were bad cute, but they was not on that level. Because all I saw that the guys that wanted to talk to me or whatever the case may be, all they wanted to do was hit something and just, like, you already know how they is. You know them, you hang with them or you chill with them or whatever when you're in school. I didn't want that. I wanted a boyfriend that wants to be with me, that's gonna do something for me, look out for me or whatever the case may be. And he did just that. So, I don't see nothing wrong with a older guy being with a younger girl. I just think that maybe he should wait until the girl turns 18 years old before he actually, like, say for instance, if they're dating, say for instance, the girl is 17 years old and the guy is 28, 27, right? 26, 25, whatever, 24. I just feel like it's nothing wrong with talking and having a relationship. Those people connect. That means they connect with each other. There's nothing wrong with that. I just think that before they have any intimacy, maybe he should wait. He should be understanding to wait. So for one, not to get himself in any trouble, because if the parent find out, and he can be in big trouble. So I just feel like the guy should wait until she's at the proper age where it's legal, and then continue with some type of intimacy if that's what they have intentions to do. But other than that, I don't see anything wrong with it. If you guys have had any experience with an older relationship or a younger relationship and you can relate to this topic, leave it in the comments. I would sure love to read your comments, and I do respond to your comments. Thank you all so much for watching. Y'all have an awesome day. Bye.